Sister wives. Kody Brown stole the other wives' money, dumped them, and kept Robyn as his special wife. Hello friends. Welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia, and I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The world first met the Brown family in 2010 when TLC premiered Sister Wives. The show promised a rare glimpse into the life of a polygamist family, a man, his 4 wives, and their many children living under one complicated roof of faith, love, and rules. To outsiders, it looked like a fascinating cultural experiment. Could one man really balance 4 marriages, dozens of children, and the weight of public judgment? For years, viewers tuned in to watch Kody Brown juggle his relationships with Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn. The show gained attention not only because of its unusual premise but also because it captured the real emotions, jealousy, and struggles of plural marriage. What began as curiosity soon turned into sympathy for the women, especially when fans started noticing that one wife, Robyn, seemed to receive more affection, more time, and ultimately more power than the others. At first, Kody presented himself as a man of fairness. He claimed he loved all his wives equally, that his faith required balance, and that he wanted each woman to feel valued. But as the seasons went on, cracks began to form. Arguments over holidays, finances, children, and even intimacy revealed that the Brown household was far from equal. By the mid-2010s, fans already suspected favoritism. Kody's connection with Robyn was undeniable. He laughed with her, spent nights with her more often, and defended her in arguments with the other wives. For Mary, Janelle, and Christine, this favoritism was like a slow poison, one they tried to ignore at first but could not escape forever. The financial puzzle. Behind the cameras, a deeper issue was brewing. While TLC reportedly paid the Browns between $250,000 to $400,000 per season, that money was supposed to support the entire family. With more than 18 children and 4 separate households, expenses were enormous. The wives contributed in their own ways. Mary worked outside jobs and ran her bed and breakfast. Janelle had careers in real estate and wellness, and Christine often managed the children while also pursuing her own ventures. But whispers within the family suggested that the money was never fairly divided. Instead of being shared equally among the 4 wives, much of it allegedly flowed toward Kody and Robyn's household. Fans remember when Robyn launched her online jewelry boutique, My Sister Wife's Closet. Though it was framed as a family business, reports later surfaced that the majority of the family's pooled income was funneled into the project. When the business failed, tensions skyrocketed. Janelle openly questioned where the money had gone. Christine admitted in interviews that she didn't understand the finances at all. And Mary, who once had legal marriage status with Kody, found herself financially cut off after he divorced her to marry Robyn. Robyn becomes the legal wife. In 2014, a pivotal moment changed the family forever. Kody divorced his first wife, Mary, so that he could legally marry Robyn and adopt her 3 children from a previous marriage. At the time, Kody and Robyn insisted this was a practical move, a selfless act to provide Robyn's kids with legal protection and unity. But to the other wives, and to millions of viewers, it was a clear signal. Robyn was now the priority. From that point on, the balance of power shifted. With legal marriage came legal rights, rights over inheritance, rights over decision-making, and rights over finances. Slowly, Robyn's household became the central hub of the Brown empire. The emotional abandonment. While Kody was investing financially and emotionally in Robyn, the other wives felt increasingly abandoned. Christine, once the cheerful homemaker, started voicing her unhappiness. Janelle, practical and level-headed, began distancing herself from Kody's leadership. Mary, who had been with Kody the longest, confessed to feeling invisible. Fans saw painful scenes, Kody refusing to kiss Mary, dismissing Janelle's opinions, and clashing with Christine over parenting decisions. Meanwhile, his tenderness with Robyn was undeniable. He would hold her hand in public, defend her in private, and spend most of his nights in her home. To outsiders, the message was obvious. Robyn was not just a wife. She was the wife. The pandemic blow up. The COVID-19 pandemic turned simmering tensions into explosions. Kody enforced strict rules about social distancing, demanding that all wives and children follow Robyn's household guidelines. While Robyn complied, Christine and Janelle openly resisted, arguing that Kody's rules were unreasonable and damaging to their relationships with their kids. This was the breaking point for Christine. She declared that she could no longer remain in a marriage where she and her children were treated as outsiders. In 2021, she officially left Kody and moved back to Utah. Her announcement shocked fans but also sparked a wave of support. For many viewers, Christine was the voice of courage, the first wife to walk away from Kody's favoritism and manipulation, dumping the wives one by one. After Christine's departure, the dominoes began to fall. Janelle followed suit, confirming that she too had separated from Kody. Mary, after years of clinging to a broken relationship, finally admitted in 2023 that she was no longer spiritually married to him. Kody didn't just lose 3 wives. He lost decades of trust, respect, and partnership. But rather than fight for them, he doubled down on Robyn. In public interviews, he praised Robyn's loyalty, describing her as the only wife who stood by him. To many, it looked like Kody had not been dumped at all. He had dumped them, discarding wives who no longer served his vision and keeping the one who still did. The special wife. Now, in the aftermath, Kody and Robyn stand as a monogamous couple. The dream of plural marriage is dead. The family that once symbolized unity in diversity is shattered. But the scandal doesn't end with broken marriages. Allegations of financial theft and betrayal still hang over Kody's head. The other wives hint at missing money, at assets that mysteriously ended up under Kody and Robyn's control. Some fans speculate that the property at Coyote Pass, the long-promised family land, will never be divided fairly. Kody insists he did nothing wrong. But the optics tell another story. One man, 4 wives, 1 favorite, and a trail of broken promises. If there was ever a single thread that unraveled the Brown family's carefully woven image, it was money. From the earliest seasons of Sister Wives, fans noticed how often financial stress entered the storyline. Moving from Utah to Nevada, then from Nevada to Arizona, the Browns repeatedly uprooted their lives, and each move came with enormous costs. Yet somehow, Robyn's household always seemed to come out ahead while the other wives were left scrambling. The pooled income. In theory, the Browns operated as a family unit. All 4 wives worked, sacrificed, and contributed to a shared pool of income. TLC's paychecks, book deals, speaking engagements, and personal businesses were supposed to sustain everyone equally. Mary had side hustles, including a bed and breakfast and later her involvement with LuLaRoe clothing sales. Janelle worked in real estate and later launched a wellness coaching business. Christine juggled childcare, family management, and eventually her own social media ventures. Robyn had her boutique, My Sister Wife's Closet, which was framed as a joint family project. But when financial records and family confessions surfaced in later years, the picture was not so balanced. Reports suggest that Kody and Robyn had near total control over the money. When bills came due, the wives often had to request funds. This system created resentment, especially when it became clear that Robyn's expenses were never denied. My Sister Wife's Closet, the money pit. The jewelry business, My Sister Wife's Closet, became the biggest red flag. Initially marketed as a sisterhood-driven entrepreneurial effort, the project drained thousands of dollars from the family fund. Janelle allegedly warned Kody that the business was not sustainable. Christine expressed confusion over why so much money was disappearing. Even Mary, who was supportive at first, admitted she had no control over how funds were used. Despite constant investment, the business produced little return. By the late 2010s, the site had essentially collapsed. Yet during that time, Kody continued pouring money into Robyn's household, leaving the others struggling to maintain their homes and pay their bills. Property drama at Coyote Pass. Another financial scandal revolved around Coyote Pass, the sprawling Arizona property the Browns purchased with the dream of building a shared compound. Each wife was promised a section of land, and Kody painted grand visions of unity. But reality looked different. Paperwork showed that parcels were not evenly divided. Rumors circulated that Kody shifted key assets into his and Robyn's names. Janelle, who had invested heavily in the property, grew suspicious. Christine revealed she doubted the land would ever be developed at all. For fans, this was the smoking gun. Kody had allegedly used family funds to buy property but ensured that legal ownership benefited only himself and Robyn. Robyn's big house. While Mary lived in a modest home, Janelle rented and struggled with space, and Christine eventually moved into a small Utah house. Robyn lived in a massive, nearly $1 million home in Flagstaff. The purchase of that home shocked fans and infuriated the other wives. Public records showed the down payment came during a period when the Browns were already complaining about financial stress. Many accused Kody of prioritizing Robyn's comfort while leaving his other wives and children in precarious situations. Christine, during an emotional confessional, revealed she couldn't understand why Robyn's financial needs were always met, while her own household was expected to make do. Allegations of theft. By 2022, accusations escalated from favoritism to outright theft. The other wives hinted that Kody had misused joint assets. Christine described years of financial secrecy. Janelle admitted she had no idea how much money the family truly had. Mary suggested that Kody intentionally kept the wives in the dark, ensuring he and Robyn controlled everything. Fans speculated that hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, had been diverted to Robyn's benefit. Some even claimed Kody might have hidden funds in trusts or accounts tied to her household. While no legal case has been proven in court, the allegations themselves devastated the family's reputation. The patriarch, once seen as a provider, was now being painted as a manipulator who drained his wives' resources and left them with nothing. The emotional toll. Money wasn't just numbers on paper. It represented stability, safety, and future security. For Mary, Janelle, and Christine, discovering that their sacrifices had been funneled into Robyn's household was a betrayal that cut deeper than any marital argument. Mary said she felt discarded, as though her decades of loyalty meant nothing. Janelle accused Kody of leaving her and her children vulnerable, despite all she had contributed. Christine declared she had been robbed, not just of money, but of dignity. Meanwhile, Kody defended himself, claiming Robyn was simply the most cooperative and loyal wife. He insisted that financial decisions were made for the good of the family. But viewers noticed he never seemed able to explain where the missing money had gone. The court of public opinion. The allegations exploded online. Fan forums, Facebook groups, and Reddit threads dissected every financial clue. Screen grabs of property deeds, speculation about TLC paychecks, and heated debates about Robyn's mansion flooded social media. Many fans labeled Kody a con man and embezzler. Some even called for TLC to cancel the show, accusing the network of enabling financial abuse. At the same time, support poured in for Christine and Janelle, who were praised for breaking free from Kody's control. Mary, though slower to leave, gained sympathy for being manipulated for so many years. Kody's silence. Through it all, Kody remained defiant. He refused to admit any wrongdoing, framing himself as the victim of betrayal. In interviews, he accused the other wives of being ungrateful and undermining his leadership. Robyn, too, denied being the favorite. Tearfully, she insisted she never wanted to replace or overshadow the other wives. But her tears did little to convince the public, who saw her as the queen of a financial empire built on the backs of Mary, Janelle, and Christine. The bigger picture. At its heart, the financial scandal revealed a deeper truth. Polygamy in the Brown household was never about equality. Kody had used faith and family as a cover while creating a system where he and Robyn benefited most. The wives, once united, had become rivals for resources, a rivalry Kody himself encouraged. By the time Christine left, the system collapsed. Without the illusion of equality, the empire of sister wives crumbled into a story of theft, favoritism, and betrayal. For years, Kody Brown painted himself as the head of a loving, cooperative plural family. He often spoke about the importance of commitment and faith, insisting that he would never give up on his wives. But when reality unfolded, it looked very different. One by one, Kody's wives fell away, not because they stopped loving their children or even their faith, but because they realized Kody himself had stopped loving them. If anything, it seemed like Kody dumped his wives long before they walked out the door. Christine, the first to go. Christine was always known as the heart of the family. She brought warmth, humor, and the ability to manage the chaos of dozens of kids. For years, she downplayed her frustrations, smiling through her pain. But underneath, Christine felt neglected. The breaking point came during the pandemic. Christine saw her kids losing their father. Kody spent most of his time with Robyn and enforced rules that made it impossible for Christine's children to spend time with him. When Christine confronted Kody about their intimacy, things shattered. In a heartbreaking moment on camera, she admitted she no longer felt like his wife. Kody coldly responded that he wasn't attracted to her anymore and didn't want a physical relationship. For Christine, that was the last straw. After decades of loyalty, she realized Kody had emotionally dumped her long ago. In November 2021, she announced her separation. Fans erupted in support, celebrating her decision as a brave act of self-respect. Christine's departure sent shockwaves through the family. She was not just a wife leaving a husband, she was a wife exposing Kody's favoritism to the world. Janelle, the silent rebel. If Christine was the heart, Janelle was the backbone. Level-headed, practical, and financially savvy, Janelle kept the family afloat through many moves and financial struggles. She was often the peacemaker, the wife who didn't demand too much attention. But even Janelle had limits. She watched as her financial contributions disappeared into Robyn's household. She saw her children lose respect for Kody, especially during the pandemic. Unlike Christine, Janelle didn't crave romance, she craved partnership. And by 2022, it was obvious Kody no longer offered even that. In season 17, Janelle finally confronted him. Their arguments turned fiery, with Janelle accusing him of failing as a husband and father. When Kody demanded loyalty and obedience, Janelle refused. She told him plainly, "You're not acting like a husband to me." By the end of that year, Janelle confirmed she had separated from Kody. Her departure marked another collapse in the illusion of unity. If Janelle, the most practical and forgiving wife, could no longer tolerate Kody's behavior, then the plural marriage was truly doomed. Mary, the forgotten wife. Mary was Kody's first wife, the woman who started it all. 4 years, she held on despite heartbreak. Kody divorced her in 2014 to legally marry Robyn, and their marriage never recovered. The infamous catfishing scandal of 2015 revealed Mary's loneliness. She had been seeking emotional connection outside the marriage, not because she wanted to betray Kody, but because she felt abandoned. Instead of working on their relationship, Kody used the scandal as an excuse to further distance himself. On screen, their interactions grew colder. Kody openly admitted he had no interest in intimacy with Mary. In one of the most brutal scenes of the series, he told her he would never feel romantic toward her again. Still, Mary stayed. She clung to hope that their marriage could be repaired. But by 2023, she too admitted defeat. In a joint statement with Kody, she announced that they were no longer spiritually married. For fans, it was bittersweet. Relief that Mary could move on, but sadness that she had endured so many years of neglect. The pattern of abandonment. Looking back, it's clear that Kody didn't just lose his wives. He actively pushed them away. He withdrew emotionally, spending nearly all his time with Robyn. He cut off intimacy, making his wives feel unwanted and unloved. He controlled finances, leaving the others dependent on his decisions. He weaponized loyalty, demanding obedience while refusing to give love in return. When Christine left, Kody didn't fight for her. When Janelle left, he grew angry but didn't change. When Mary left, he seemed relieved. The truth was undeniable. Kody had already dumped them in his heart. Robyn's role. Of course, Robyn insists she never wanted to replace the other wives. In interviews, she cried, saying she had hoped for unity. But critics argue that her actions tell another story. She accepted the legal marriage. She allowed Kody to pour resources into her home. She rarely challenged his favoritism. And when the other wives complained, Robyn often positioned herself as the victim, the loyal wife being punished for her faithfulness. Whether by design or by default, Robyn ended up as the last wife standing. And Kody, who once preached about the beauty of plural marriage, now lives in what looks like a traditional monogamous marriage. The wives' liberation. Ironically, being dumped by Kody turned out to be a blessing for the other wives. Christine found love again with David Woolley, embracing a new chapter of happiness. Janelle gained independence, focusing on her wellness journey and her adult children. Mary rebuilt her life around business, travel, and self-discovery. Freed from Kody's control, the wives have thrived individually. Fans cheer their growth, often commenting that they look younger, happier, and healthier without Kody in their lives. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn appear more isolated than ever, bound together, but surrounded by public criticism and fractured family relationships. The legacy of betrayal. The pattern is clear. Kody never truly lived up to his promises of equality. His marriages to Mary, Janelle, and Christine ended not because they stopped believing in family, but because Kody stopped treating them like wives. By dumping them, emotionally, financially, and spiritually, he destroyed the foundation of the Brown family. And in keeping Robyn as his special wife, he exposed the truth fans had suspected for years. The so-called sisterhood was nothing more than a hierarchy, with Robyn at the top. From the moment Robyn entered the Brown family in 2010, something shifted. Viewers could see it. The other wives could feel it. And Kody, he practically glowed whenever she was around. At first, fans believed the hype. Robyn was introduced as a breath of fresh air, younger, energetic, and eager to embrace plural marriage. She cried when she talked about sisterhood. She spoke softly about love and unity. She positioned herself as someone who wanted to blend into the family, not dominate it. But as the seasons unfolded, a new narrative emerged. Robyn wasn't just another wife. She was the wife. Kody's obsession. Kody's connection to Robyn was obvious from day one. He gushed about her during his confessionals, describing her as a soulmate, a gift, a blessing. The spark between them was undeniable, far stronger than anything viewers had seen between Kody and his other wives. While he often seemed impatient or dismissive with Mary, Janelle, and Christine, Kody became playful and affectionate with Robyn. He flirted, he laughed, he lingered. Their wedding episode cemented the perception. Robyn wasn't just joining the family, she was redefining it. Over the years, Kody's obsession deepened. Fans noted that his haircuts, his clothing, even his mannerisms seemed influenced by Robyn. He began to echo her concerns, defend her in every argument, and take her side without hesitation. By the time the family moved to Flagstaff, it was clear, Robyn wasn't competing for Kody's attention. She already had all of it. The legal wife. The legal divorce from Mary and marriage to Robyn in 2014 was more than a paperwork shuffle. It symbolized the elevation of Robyn to special wife status. With legal marriage came legal power, inheritance rights, decision-making authority, and financial control. It was a symbolic dethroning of Mary and a public crowning of Robyn. Even though Kody insisted the decision was practical, so he could adopt Robyn's children, fans saw the truth. Kody wanted Robyn to be his official primary partner. Robyn's influence. Robyn's influence on Kody grew steadily. She convinced him to take on new debts, including the purchase of her massive Flagstaff home. She shaped his strict pandemic rules, which alienated him from the rest of the family. Whenever the other wives voiced concerns, Robyn framed herself as misunderstood. She cried often, portraying herself as a victim of jealousy. Yet time and again, her tears resulted in Kody defending her and attacking the other wives for being disloyal. Viewers began to notice a pattern. If Robyn wanted something, she got it. If Robyn felt slighted, Kody raged at the others. Slowly, the balance of power tipped until Robyn was the only voice that truly mattered. The loyalty factor. Kody repeatedly praised Robyn for her loyalty. In his eyes, she was the only wife who never challenged him, never questioned his authority, and never resisted his rules. But critics argue that this so-called loyalty was actually compliance. Robyn gave Kody what his ego craved: total submission. By contrast, Christine, Janelle, and Mary wanted partnerships, not dictatorships. Their independence made Kody feel threatened, while Robyn's deference made him feel powerful. The result was a toxic cycle. The more Robyn obeyed, the more Kody favored her. The more he favored her, the more the other wives rebelled. And the more they rebelled, the more he accused them of betrayal. Public backlash. As Robyn rose to power within the family, public opinion turned sharply against her. Fans accused her of manipulating Kody, of weaponizing her tears, of deliberately isolating him from his other wives. On social media, she was branded Sob Bin Robyn, a nickname that mocked her constant crying. Viewers pointed to key moments. Robyn's insistence on a large home purchase while the family was in debt. Her reluctance to embrace the idea of all wives living in one shared house in Flagstaff. Her role in enforcing strict pandemic rules that kept Kody away from his other children. Each decision seemed to benefit Robyn's household while weakening the others. The special treatment. The favoritism wasn't just emotional or financial, it was visible. Kody spent most of his nights at Robyn's house. He attended her children's events while skipping those of his other kids. He spoke tenderly to her in interviews, while berating Christine and Janelle. He defended her fiercely in every argument, even when she was in the wrong. It became painfully obvious. Robyn wasn't just another wife. She was Kody's chosen wife. The other wives speak out. Christine openly said she felt like an outsider. Janelle admitted that Robyn received special treatment. Mary confessed she didn't recognize her marriage anymore. In private conversations, the wives revealed they felt abandoned, discarded, and invisible. They weren't just competing for love, they were competing against a system that had already been rigged in Robyn's favor. Robyn's denial. Despite all this, Robyn maintains that she never wanted to be the special wife. She claims she dreamed of a united family, not a fractured one. In interviews, she tearfully says she is heartbroken by the estrangement between Kody and his children. But fans remain unconvinced. To them, Robyn's words don't match her actions. While she says she wanted sisterhood, she consistently benefited from decisions that harmed the other wives. The symbol of betrayal. In the end, Robyn became more than just Kody's wife. She became a symbol of the betrayal that destroyed the Brown family. Her rise to power revealed Kody's hypocrisy. His favoritism exposed the lie of equal love. And her position as the last wife standing proved that polygamy, at least in the Brown household, was never about unity, it was about control. For Christine, Janelle, and Mary, Robyn was the constant reminder that they were never truly loved. For fans, she became the villain of the story. And for Kody, she was the prize he clung to after dumping the others. The Brown family once sold themselves as an image of faith, unity, and resilience. But by the time the cracks began to show, it was already too late. The empire that Kody had worked so hard to build around himself was collapsing brick by brick, with financial tension, broken promises, and favoritism fueling a storm that even he could no longer control. Kody's financial shell game. Kody's former wives have described him as a man who always wanted more. More land, more houses, more control. When TLC paychecks rolled in, when book deals closed, or when money came from speaking engagements, it often disappeared into mysterious family accounts. Christine later admitted she rarely had access to those accounts, while Janelle, the practical one, constantly asked for receipts and transparency. Instead of answers, she got lectures about trusting Kody's leadership. Meanwhile, Mary said she was shocked to discover that funds she thought were meant for Coyote Pass and the children's futures had allegedly been redirected to Robyn's household. Robyn's castle. It wasn't just favoritism, it was financial favoritism. In 2019, Robyn and Kody purchased a massive $900,000 house in Flagstaff, Arizona. At the same time, Janelle lived in an RV on Coyote Pass land, Christine felt stuck in a home she couldn't afford, and Mary remained isolated in a rental. To fans, the picture was crystal clear. Kody had built Robyn her castle while the others were left fending for themselves. When Janelle confronted him, Kody reportedly snapped. "This is about protecting my legal wife. Robyn is the future of this family." To Janelle, it sounded like confirmation that the family's money had been hijacked. Emotional abandonment. Beyond money, the wives also felt emotionally bankrupt. Christine said she begged for Kody's attention, only to watch him spend night after night at Robyn's. Mary admitted she hadn't been intimate with Kody in years, yet he still held legal control over her life until she was discarded. Janelle kept asking herself why she stayed, when all the financial sacrifices she made had left her with nothing. The truth was undeniable. Kody had already dumped them long before they officially left. Children in revolt. The adult children of the Browns were some of the most outspoken critics of Kody's favoritism. Gabe and Garrison, Janelle's sons, accused him of choosing Robyn's kids over them. Aspen, Michaelty, and Paydon, Christine's children, sided firmly with their mother and saw through what they called Kody's obsession with Robyn. Even Leon, Mary's only child, distanced themselves from Kody, pointing out the hypocrisy in his so-called values. What had once been a bustling family of over 20 kids was now fractured into bitter camps. The Queen's throne. Through it all, Robyn maintained her throne. Whether or not she orchestrated Kody's downfall, she certainly benefited from it. Her legal marriage gave her power. Her loyalty to Kody made her indispensable. And her position as the last wife standing secured her place as his one and only special wife. To critics, Robyn had played the long game and won. To fans sympathetic to her, she was merely the one who didn't give up when the others walked away. Either way, she remained at Kody's side while the rest were cast aside. The public reaction. By this point, fans of Sister Wives no longer viewed the Browns as a family. They saw them as a cautionary tale, a patriarch who abused financial trust, a family fractured by favoritism, and a man who destroyed everything in pursuit of control. Social media erupted with memes, outrage, and open calls for TLC to stop giving Kody and Robyn a platform. But the drama was too profitable for the network to resist. And so, the cycle continued, Kody defending himself, Robyn crying about being misunderstood, and the ex-wives rising from the ashes to tell their side of the story. The collapse of the Brown family didn't just happen quietly behind closed doors. It unfolded in front of millions of viewers, leaving fans, critics, and even the family's adult children stunned at how quickly the empire crumbled. The fallout became a public reckoning for Kody Brown, and for the first time, the world began to see him not as a misunderstood patriarch but as the architect of his own downfall. Christine's liberation goes viral. Christine was the first to walk away, and when she did, she became a hero. Fans celebrated her as a woman who chose peace over chaos. Her Instagram posts, filled with laughter, cooking videos, and photos of her with her children and new husband David Woolley, contrasted sharply with Kody's bitter rants on television. Christine publicly admitted she no longer trusted Kody with money, love, or leadership. In interviews, she described years of feeling like an outsider in her own marriage, while Kody lavished all his energy on Robyn. To many women watching around the world, Christine wasn't just leaving Kody. She was representing every spouse who ever felt ignored, underappreciated, and financially trapped. Janelle fights back. While Christine's exit was celebrated, Janelle's departure was explosive. Janelle had always been the practical one, the wife who kept books, paid bills, and invested in land. When she left, she did so with a burning question. Where did all the money go? On camera, Janelle accused Kody of manipulating the wives into putting resources into a family pot that mysteriously ended up benefiting Robyn. She hinted that Robyn's home, jewelry ventures, and lavish lifestyle had been funded with money that was supposed to build homes for all the wives on Coyote Pass. Fans rallied around Janelle, calling her the true backbone of the family. The idea that she had been robbed hit harder than ever. Mary's painful reality. Mary, Kody's first wife, was the last to officially confirm the end of her spiritual marriage. Though her relationship had been dead for years, her statement broke hearts. She admitted she had been strung along with promises of reconciliation, only to realize Kody had no interest in repairing their bond. Worse, she discovered that her financial contributions, including from her bed and breakfast business, had allegedly been funneled into ventures she never approved of. Mary's quiet dignity in the face of betrayal earned her respect. Even those who had once criticized her for staying too long applauded her for finally cutting ties. The children speak out. The most devastating fallout came from the children. Gabe Brown revealed in a tearful moment that he barely had a relationship with his father after Kody chose to prioritize Robyn's kids. Garrison Brown was blunt, calling his dad's obsession with Robyn embarrassing. Kody Brown openly mocked Kody in TikToks, fueling fan outrage with inside jokes about favoritism. One by one, the children lined up to confirm what fans already suspected. Kody had abandoned most of them emotionally, if not financially, in favor of Robyn and her children. Public judgment. The court of public opinion came down hard. Social media platforms were flooded with posts attacking Kody's narcissism, greed, and hypocrisy. Memes mocked his endless excuses about loyalty. Viewers dissected every scene of sister wives, pointing out lies, inconsistencies, and favoritism. Even longtime fans admitted they now tuned in only to see how bad things could get. In many ways, the Browns became more famous for their downfall than their polygamist lifestyle. Kody and Robyn retreat. As Christine thrived, Janelle fought back, and Mary rebuilt her life, Kody and Robyn seemed trapped in retreat. They were seen less often in public. When they did appear on camera, Robyn cried about being blamed for everything while Kody launched tirades about disloyalty and betrayal. To fans, their isolation looked less like love and more like desperation, two people clinging to each other because they had no one else left. The reckoning isn't over. The fallout may not be finished. With speculation swirling about financial mismanagement, there's talk that legal action could one day follow. If Janelle or Mary ever push for a forensic accounting of family finances, the story could shift from scandal to full-blown courtroom drama. For now, though, the public reckoning has already been brutal. Kody Brown has gone from reality TV's unconventional father figure to one of its most infamous villains.